Hey, good morning, everybody. My name is Barry Schwartz, and this is the Search Buzz video recap. Today is Friday, July 15th, and this is the search news we covered over at the Search Engine Roundtable at seroundtable.com over the past week. Lots to discuss. We had a Google potential update on July 10th. There was a lot of volatility then. There was a huge drop in the people also asked, according to 3 data providers. Google Search Console is hiding data. They've always anonymized data for a while, but it's not considered very rare. Google Ads has a lot more features, and there's so much more, so definitely stay tuned. And of course, I'd like to thank our sponsor. Thank you, Wix. Wix has been doing a lot of cool things for SEO, so definitely check them out and see what they're doing for SEO. Some pretty impressive stuff. Check them out at wix.com. All right, so Google Search potentially had a Google algorithm update again on July 10th. It's not confirmed. Google did not confirm it. There are some chatter this morning also around Friday and Thursday, July 14th, 15th, but I don't think it's huge. But the one on July 10th was big enough to actually confirm, or not confirm, but to write about. This is an unconfirmed update. And the tools mostly saw these spikes. It was pretty significant. There was definitely a lot of chatter. So if you saw any type of ranking change around July 10th, you were definitely not alone. There was definitely a lot of chatter and signals pointing to a Google search update on July 10th. Also, 3 different data providers noticed that the people also ask has dropped off significantly. It used to show up for 60% of queries according to these tools. Now it's showing up for 30% of queries according to these tools. This is across SEMrush, Rank Ranger, and SEO Clarity. There are other tool providers saying it didn't change. I personally see people also ask everywhere. Supposedly this is just desktop, and I'm saying I see it everywhere for desktop. But these data providers actually confirm with me that they checked their data, they dug in, and it actually is a drop of about 30 points. So again, 60% to 30% showing people also ask features. So that is significant. SEOs and people love people also ask, so we'll see. I also asked Google. Google did not respond about that, so I'm not sure what's going on. So a couple weeks ago, Patrick Stocks from Ahrefs, used to be an IBM SEOer, did a big study, and it was kind of like, wow, basically showing that Google hides about 50% or anonymizes about 50% of search queries in the Google Search Console report. And he made this cool data studio report that lets you compare for your own website how much Google is not showing you in terms of query data. It will show you total clicks by URL, which they show 100% of the data. And then it will also show you the number of queries for those clicks. And it actually hides, on average, like it was like 49% or something like that from his study. Now, when I look at my own website, it's close to 50%. When I look at some other websites, it could be as high as hiding 85% of queries. Some of them are as low as 20, 30% of queries hidden. So it's pretty significant. My issue with that is not that Google is, for privacy reasons, hiding those queries, because that's the world we live in. We live in this world where you can't get data about who's going to your website anymore. It's almost impossible. It used to be the old days. You would know everything about the person when they went to your website. You would track them around the web and do crazy stuff. And then over the course of the past, probably like, 5 years or so, not Google, but the privacy advocates went ahead and made some significant changes for the good of privacy. Now, my issue with this is when I emailed Google about this study, they kind of shrugged it off, in my opinion. And I'm like, and they basically said they have anonymized queries, and they sent them into their help doc. Their help doc said it was very rare, and I'm quoting you, very rare is what they showed in their help doc for very rare queries that are called anonymized queries. They would not show the data. So Google went ahead and updated those documents to say it's not very rare. They just basically said some queries instead of very rare, and they went ahead and updated. Again, I don't blame Google for anonymizing queries. If there are going to be privacy issues that go ahead and hurt them in the future or hurt users, privacy is a very, very big topic and a very important topic. Now, not downplaying that, but again, the documentation has to reflect it, and they did update the documentation to kind of reflect that. There's a lot of chatter. Nothing has changed with the report. Nothing is new. It's just that we are now noticing that Google is not showing us as many queries as we once thought they were showing. We thought they were showing a very rare number, hiding a very rare number of anonymized queries. And that makes sense, but it's not a very rare number. It's more than that. It's on average about 50% for most sites. You can't get 50% of your queries. Maybe some of those queries are longer tail. Maybe, you're ranking for SEO, but you're not ranking for, big blue banana chair SEO, that type of keyword, which is very, very long tail, but it still probably would trail up to the keyword SEO. Again, just keep that in mind. Patrick Stocks did a really great thing. I knew about the change last Friday. Brody Clark actually went ahead and noticed it as well over the weekend in the help docs. And Danny Sullivan went off on a little bit of an explainer on Twitter, basically explaining Google's side, which you should definitely read, and hopefully you'll see that. In any event, I get it. It's just you got to be able to communicate that better. Google Search Console is slowly, really slowly rolling out the video indexing coverage report, which we covered a month ago or so, where Google teased the new video indexing report at Google I/O, I believe, in Google Search Console. But the thing is, now it's actually rolling out to some sites. So if you go to your Google Search Console, on the left, it doesn't say coverage. It says like video indexing, and this is page indexing. That means you have the new report. Now, Google said it's rolling out very slowly over the course of a few months. Problem with that is I don't know why I'm not showing up. Why am I not showing my video indexing pages? Why are you? And we don't know if it's a delay in terms of the rollout, or if there's actually an index where Google doesn't detect videos on your website. If Google's not detecting the videos on your website, Google's not going to show that option for you in the coverage report. It's not going to show the video indexing coverage report if Google cannot detect videos. In any event, definitely check a look at that report. We have some screenshots of Searchers Roundtable, and you can learn more about that there. There is a possible bug with Google Search Console performance reports specifically for videos on desktop. So if you use a search appearance filter and you say, I only want to show video appearances, and then you filter that to only show by device desktop, there's a huge drop off and almost zero traffic or clicks and impressions when you filter by that. Daniel Weisberg is looking into it. I'm not sure if it's fixed yet. It might be, but there is an issue there. Google Search is testing this new rich cards layout, which shows net worth of an individual. It's probably for celebrities. So for Oprah Winfrey, your other favorite celebrities, you'll see things like their net worth, videos, news results, images, articles. You also see maybe things like how old they are, just like these boxes, rich cards. And here's some screenshots. Brody Clark found this first. Very interesting. I don't see it yet, but I assume it's going to roll out. Talking about cards, we also seeing on the mobile results different cards for get there, specifically for destination cards, weather, maps. This was spotted by Sad AK, who saw this, and you can actually see there's different cards for the mobile results to get to certain destinations, seeing the weather, and learning more about those destinations. Glenn Gabe covered this, basically a new feature, or possibly a new feature, where the Google has these top ranked search features that lead to critic reviews and product reviews articles. It's pretty interesting because here's a screenshot of it. It says top ranked. It's a carousel of information. And when you click into it, it leads to either these critic reviews, which again, Google's removed critic reviews schema a while ago, a couple of years ago, but it doesn't make a difference because they're doing that algorithmically anyway. And they also may link that information to product reviews. Google's really doing a lot on the e-commerce side, so definitely take a look at that. It's very, very interesting. Google is testing larger images in the search results again. Search ads again, I'm sorry. Google, these really, really large images in search ads. This was spotted by PPC Hubbub. And you can see here's a really large image ad. Here's some other ads in terms of 3 across images across in your ad. That one was spotted by Sijo George, pronouncing that correctly. He finds a lot of good stuff. And on the local side, Google's testing these destination discover panels. And these destination discover panels are pretty cool because they kind of show YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and other types of stories in this little stories carousel. Not little, it's actually a big stories carousel. Here's a GIF or screenshot of that where you can actually see these discover things and they animate and you can scroll through them. Very, very interesting, very, very cool. That was a nice find as well. Bing has testing, I believe, a featured snippet feature, which is basically called Answered by Bing Experts. Answered by Bing Experts is super interesting because it's not answered by, I think, Bing experts. They're answered by the experts on the websites that Bing is crawling and indexing and ranking. So Bing is basically calling them Bing experts, but they're not Bing representatives. They're not from Microsoft. They are basically pulling the author's name from the website and saying these are answered by Bing experts. Super interesting. The nice spot from Schwartz. And also, Bing has launched, I believe, a new feature in image search called Shop For. So if you do a search in Bing for images and you can see this little box called Shop For, and interesting about it, it doesn't take you to any shopping results. You click on it, it takes you to more image results. Not sure why. This was spotted by Frank Salmon, a German-based SEO. Thank you, Frank. Google Ads Performance Max campaigns launched a bunch of new features, specifically around Performance Max campaigns. Some of them are called, well, we already covered the location targeting controls and the diagnostic insights last week, but they also launched something called seasonality adjustments, which will help you stay informed about Performance Max bid strategy, optimization score specifically around that, data exclusion features related to the location stuff, but above that, and detailed explanations for Performance Max campaigns that are coming up in the next coming weeks. So definitely take a look at that. Pretty cool stuff. If you are using Performance Max, which you probably are by now, definitely take a look at that. Google has updated the AdsBot's mobile web crawler user agent string. So if you have hard-coded that AdsBot mobile web crawler user agent, they updated it from the old iPhone 9.1 to the new iPhone 14.7 user agents and so forth. So definitely take a look at that. If you have hard-coded it, you probably want to update that. Google My Business has dropped the Google My Business app. Google My Business has rebranded to Google Business Profiles, and that was about a year ago. And with that, Google said they're going to get rid of the Google My Business app in 2022. That day has come. This week, Google has disabled and said when you open the Google My Business app on your phone, iOS or Android, it will say the Google My Business app is no longer available. They also sent out emails about this. So now they ask you to either maintain your Google Business Profile, messaging and so forth, all that type of stuff in the Google Maps app or on Google Search directly. Google Business Profiles has a updated toggle switch to go ahead and toggle off your address from showing up to customers in Google Search and Google Maps. This makes it a little bit easier for you to not show your address if you don't want to show your, let's say you have a home business, you don't want to show your address to customers. Google Business Profile has a weird listing bugs. The Google Business Profile Manager is what local SEOs and businesses that have lots of businesses do, manage their listings. And it's just when you go ahead and verify or re-verify a thing, it triggers, it's triggered on a profile and then things become invisible. You start losing listings and all this stuff. It's kind of like, seems like a weird bug that will fix itself over time. So definitely keep that in mind. Sometime in the past several months, Google Posts started to expire after 6 months by default. Google Posts used to last a lot longer. There were some Google Posts that lasted only 7 days or 3 days, depending on when the event ended. But now Google is emailing people saying, did you know that after 6 months, most of your recent posts will be dropped from Google Posts? So keep that in mind if you do Google Posts, which are pretty useful, just they take time like any social media post, that is gone after 6 months. Google Analytics now supports a bunch of new tags, specifically Google Analytics 4. A bunch of new dimensions and metrics are supported, like bounce rate, UTM term, UTM ad content, and conversion rates. So definitely take a look at that if you are digging into the Google Analytics 4 change. And I was honored to go ahead and be interviewed by the Google search team, specifically Gary and Lizzie at Google Search on the Google Search Off the Record podcast. It was pretty funny. I was basically being sarcastic and trolling the whole entire time, which was approved beforehand by Gary, so it was pretty fun. In any event, definitely take a look at that if you want to have a little bit of a chuckle. If you've been in the SEO industry for a while, you probably get a chuckle out of that. I'll include that video at the end so you can actually click on the thumbnail and hit that. Of course, please do like this video, subscribe, tell your friends, comment, let me know what you like or dislike about the video, and I'll try to make it better over time. Again, thanks to Wix for sponsoring. Thank you, Wix. In any event, everyone have a great, safe, healthy weekend. Again, my name is Barry Schwartz, and that's the search news we covered over at the Search Engine Roundtable, SERoundtable.com over the past week. Again, today is Friday, July 15th. Have a great, safe weekend. See you guys next. Goodbye.